Another one.
1,000,000% giving money laundering.
These past couple weeks have been truly crazy. We've talked about evil twinks.
Bring back bullying.
We've talked about iceberg videos. We even have talked about occults. However, none of these are in comparison to the conspiracy we're about to uncover this episode. I am from a little known region called the Rio Grande Valley. 109.6 cut. And when there is the Rio Grande Valley, there is car washes. And when there's car washes, there's money laundering. RGV car washes, conspiracies, and money laundering. Let's talk about it. Buckle up. But things weren't always this way. I remember when I was growing up personally, me and my dad would just wash the car ourselves. There was only one car wash in my town, and that was by the Exxon off of Alton War. So why are things all of a sudden changing? Why is there so many car washes in the Rio Grande Valley?
Try being my size, Amy. You don't know how it is.
According to Bloomberg.com, the rise of car washes is directly correlated from the departure of DIY, do-it-yourself trends in car maintenance. Alright, bear with me now. Articles are based on trends. Trends are based on data. Data is based in numbers. However, in my personal opinion, the numbers are not adding up. Back to trends. So here's the thing. While yes, more people could be using these car washes, the general consensus is still very much do-it-yourself in regards to car maintenance. While the article that I researched does not explicitly mention car washes are part of that general family of do-it-yourself and therefore is linked to the trend. Therefore, we can assume the fact that people are still washing their cars at home. So, how are these car washes able to stay afloat? There are two theories. Are they following the law, or is there more that meets the eye? Here are the facts. Under the first Trump administration, there was a tax break for car wash businesses such as Blue Wave, Go Car Wash, you name it. It has car wash, no taxes. And this resulted in car washes not having to pay any tax revenue at all. Another factor that significantly is both questionable as well as allows these car washes to function with limited customers is the fact that a lot of these car washes are built on very cheap land. The Rio Grande Valley, yes, is an up-and-coming hotspot. However, a lot of our land still is very cheap. Especially for us who were born here, it's very easy to think like, oh, land's is cheap everywhere. But the thing is, as soon as you step out of the valley into places such as Corpus Christi, San Antonio, Houston, the prices skyrocket tremendously. And we have not seen that happen here yet. Note how I said yet, because the Rio Grande Valley, as I said, is an up-and-coming hotspot. Unfortunately, thanks to Elon Musk and Starbase, that's what's driving a lot of people from Austin over here, which is negatively impacting the community with stuff like gentrification, increased cost of living, as well as environmental damage. That is one thing that a lot of people who are pro-Elon, especially here, fail to rule out. The fact that because of Starbase and stuff like that, yes, it does cause a lot of economic growth for our region. Yes, it will increase our population and make us a quote-unquote hotspot of America. However, the harm is a lot of our revenue in the Rio Grande Valley is based off South Padre Island. What is directly next to South Padre Island right now? That's right, Starbase. Yes, it may not affect us in the next 20 years. However, for the next generation of people who live in the Rio Grande Valley, South Padre Island is going to be significantly polluted because of SpaceX. However, enough of my rant about why I do not like Elon Musk. Back to car washes. I think it's better we just go see for ourselves how this car washes exactly operate. Come with me. Real business or fraud? Companies like Blue Wave have increased their prices by 50% over the last year. The majority of car washes revenue, as reported by Bloomberg.com, comes from memberships. Car washes such as these are developed on cheap land, especially here in the Rio Grande Valley, where our prices are significantly lower. However, very easily, car washes such as these can inflate their numbers to make it seem that more people actually visit their car wash and get washes than actually do. 80% of their water is recycled, which significantly cuts costs. So how exactly did all these car washes get to the Rio Grande Valley? To find out, we gotta follow the money.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Alright, so who's the one directly making money from all of this? So it's actually a lot more complicated than we think. It's like a food chain with Randall E. Wood being at the very top of it. He is one of the owners of Imperial Capital. Now, here's what's suspicious about Imperial Capital. So I actually dived into their records, and a lot of their investment is based off your own discretion. So it is very possible for companies such as Go Car Wash, which is currently under lawsuit for overcharging people who went originally for single-use membership fees. So, and Go Car Wash was a good 3 of the car washes I stumbled upon my way home. Quick Quack, which is one of the ones that I also saw on my way home, a lot of it is privately owned by the corporation and it's under some sort of imperial group. So that one is still suspicious, but right now they're currently looking to expand into the, to the Rio Grande Valley, which I do think is a little suspicious, but that one is privately owned. So that'd be more on the company and less so on money laundering. So that'd be corporation wide. The one that I thought was the most interesting was Blue Wave and Clearwater, which are currently under merger. The owner of that, one of them, is Bill Poland. I could not find anything on him. However, one thing that I did find that was very interesting was their modeling practice. Blue Wave works in the typical franchisee way. What I do find suspicious though is Blue Wave does not directly pay you for the costs. However, instead you have to buy it mostly yourself, and Blue Wave lets you use their name, which is typical franchising. However, when I searched up on the Car Wash King website, a lot of these properties, even though, as I said, our land is still up and coming, it's not to the expense of areas like Houston, but even then we were looking at prices from the $1 to $2 million range. So it is very much possible that if someone were to money launder, doing the Blue Wave car wash model is a very easy way to sort of put that money under the rug, sort of say, oh, well, I got their car wash. Another way they could money launder is through the 7% rule, which they have to give back to Blue Wave. It's very possible for you to inflate or deflate the numbers based off how much or how little money you want to hide. Why exactly are we talking about money laundering in the Rio Grande Valley? So here's another thing I found through my research. The Rio Grande Valley actually has a long history of money laundering related to either investment, IRS taxes, immigration, as well as the cartel. So it is a prime spot for money laundering. One of the greatest perpetrators of this actually is the city of Progreso. However, the former mayor of Rio Grande City also got charged for money laundering. However, this recently was dropped, which is suspicious. A lot of people are under the consensus that a lot of the RGV is sort of pay to play, very corrupt. So is it possible that there's money laundering going on in the RGV? I wouldn't say it's possible. I'd say it's certain. We just have to find out where. We are just getting started. There's so much more to dive into. If this video gets 10 likes, I will be asking around the community for local interviews so we can get to the bottom of where this money laundering really is. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I do really appreciate it. I was gonna say so I can get more money, but that's kind of against the whole video. So I do really appreciate the love and support on all my videos. And actually something funny happened. On TikTok, because I re-upload my videos there so I can get AdSense or whatever, Pete and Piper actually saw our video, so yeah, they're watching us. Anyways, hugs and kisses. I love y'all. Bye.